luchadores de la libertad. Oye, 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 pueblo valiente, la voz de la verdad que traen los compañeros, luchadores de la libertad. La mentira será aplastada, junto con los mentirosos, tiemblan ya los poderosos, que ahí viene la muchachada. La mentira será aplastada, junto con los mentirosos, tiemblan ya los poderosos,
Alrighty. That was Ravenous Bean. Ah! Forgot something. Internet be super rude. Alright. Sorry, I was out of uniform there for a second. Okay. Awesome stuff. Yeah, like I was saying, that was Ravenous Bean. Cool dude. I've talked with him a couple of times. What up, girl? How's work going? Are you there yet? How many times have I said that? Dude, it's actually pretty good. Like, I was listening to it and sorry, I had to run, get this, out of breath, but, I was listening to it before, and I just started, like, getting into it, and I was like, oh, shit, I gotta get stuff ready for the stream, and then, obviously, it went down, and I had to recalibrate and everything, but, yeah, I'll play the, other song if I have, like, an intermission, or if there's, at the end, that's what I'm trying to say. Oh, man. Yeah, it was really good. I wanted to play the one where you're actually, like, on screen. Let me go to your channel. Hold on. You can check his channel out. There's a link in the description. At least there should be. If everything, like, copied right. That's awesome. I wish I could do that, but I can't cut metal from home, unfortunately. Yeah, he does. Real quick before, like I was saying, I wanted to play the video of you, like, actually on screen playing the, cover, but I was kind of worried about it being a cover, so I didn't play that one, but, maybe we'll see in the future. I'll see if I can get a little more ballsy. It sucks, I had all of this set up and, like, queued up, and then, of course, everything crashes, because naturally, that's how my streams go. They always crash. Bow. Alright. So, alright. Mango, how should I call you? Because you go by, like, 3 different names that I know you. Mango good? Mango will work, right? So you were asking about the bird, the crow. Oh, this is so cool. So, crows are awesome. They're super smart. Let me go ahead and take that down and put up that. I'm going to do something about this. I want to make it a little bit bigger. There we go. Alrighty. So yeah, so this crow. So I was leaving work, and the way it's set up, there's a way you go out, and to my right, outside my passenger side, there's a bit of like a courtyard, I guess you could call it, or whatever, a little field, and there's a culvert that goes through it to drain out the water. Well, I saw this crow over there, and it had this big old piece of bread in its mouth, some kind of, you know, pizza crust or whatever, and it was totally awesome. Seeing this thing, like, holding it because it was massive, I was like, what is it doing? And it's looking around, and it goes down into the culvert, and I was like, oh, snap. It was dunking the pizza crust into the water to break it up or soften it up in order to, like, be able to eat it better. That's fucking so smart. And it just blew my mind watching that as I was driving. I was like, what the fuck? What is that bird doing? But I don't know. I love that. I love watching the wildlife around here, especially when it's really smart like that. I'm hoping this BB squirrel. Oh, yeah. Tell me about the baby squirrel. This baby squirrel is just really sleepy and not dying. Oh, seems really healthy. Oh, poor thing. Fed. Mango is fine. Awesome. Dope. So we'll go with Mango from now on. But yeah, check out his channel, Ravenous Bean. Link in the description for those that are watching now and want to watch later. But yeah, I want to get into PragerU because I found a couple of good videos. I don't even know where to start. I saw this dude as one of their as an ad. Also, before I even do that, let me try something. I'm not sure why my sorry. Yeah. I'm just trying to get the chat into like YouTube. For whatever reason, it won't let me like mod people in Streamlabs. Like the things here, the three dots are there, and it's not populating anything in YouTube, which is really redonkulous. I can show you. I don't know. So you can see there's nothing there. But so I don't know. Yeah, PragerU. We'll get into this and we'll figure that out in a minute. If anybody wants to do some quick research into finding out why my YouTube won't let me mod you guys, let me know that, or my thingamajig. But actually, also on that note, oh, you gave him some nuts, nature bar, soaked in water. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully he's a good boy. But I sold my Jeep. I got the money. It's awesome. So I'm gonna pay a couple things off, and I'll have plenty of money. Plus, I already have a decent amount to get this thing up and running a little bit more effectively, I hope. But yeah, let's not hit the end stream button. That would be a really bad idea. So anyway, let's get into this. Enough stalling. I wanted to talk about this guy, but that's a little too much energy for me. I'm not willing to do that right now. We're definitely going to look at Follow the Science, but I really want to check out this PragerU Kids thing because it's going to be horrible. Whatever it is. I know it is, because you shouldn't use PragerU to teach your kids. Teach your kids good things. I sold a pic of I was like, you sold a pic of the squirrel to Discord. Oh shit. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, that's it. Oh, PragerU. I keep getting their ads because I keep interacting with their dumb shit, and it's the worst. Oh, he's so tiny. He's just laying there. He's just laying in his. What is that, like a
new at PragerU?
Bank?
Prep.
Oh.
PragerU resources for educators and parents.
a little
Educational and entertaining videos for kindergarten through 12's Storytime featuring PragerU's favorite bulldog celebrates hard work, individual responsibility, freedom, and mastery. Family-friendly DIY.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Am I getting F's for a downstream? Or F's for Jeep?
wise that honor our American
All right, there you
values.
go.
Ready,
Awesome.
Prep, Go, our digital magazine about historical heroes, is packed with facts and fun for 3rd through 5th grades. Our how-to video.
All of this sounds like somewhat professional and enticing, but if you know even the slightest bit about what PragerU does and what the actual information contained within this basically propaganda, it completely destroys any narrative they're trying to push, because PragerU is not a place to learn really. It's a place to learn like whitewashed history. It's a place to learn American values, basically American exceptionalism, and I'm not gonna say like white supremacy and stuff like that, but there's plenty of people on there that, you know, have JQ stuff going on in their podcasts, and they freely let these people on. It's kind of ridiculous that they're doing this. And if Rachel said that like people like teachers will use this in school, I never saw it in school. It wasn't around at that time. I don't even think YouTube was really a thing at that time. But if you ever hear of someone getting shown this, tell them to speak up and be like, no, this is bullshit. You're a lazy ass teacher and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I want to go to the counselor. Let me go to the office and I don't know, eat some snacks.
Videos build character with humor for middle and high schoolers. Plus, books and animated series and more on the way. PragerU resources for educators and parents. Prep for our children.
Wow, it's just creepy. This just gives off a really creepy vibe. It kind of really schlocky music. Republicans good things, Democrats bad things. Basically.
New at PragerU. Prep. PragerU
Whoa,
resources for
why
educators and parents. Education.
Shut up. I hit back because I wanted to go back to PragerU, not back to this shit video. Send me your videos. I can't wait to make you. I'm gonna put so many RGBs in this thing, not this thing, into the new thing. Back in my senior year of high school, my English teacher showed us a Glenn Beck video talking about 1984. Was it that he had a general idea of what 1984 was because it was explained to him by like his parents and his conservative educators? Probably. Send it to me. If you have that would be hilarious to watch. I never read 1984 in school. I actually read 1984 in 2017 in Kuwait. Yeah, it's a really good book. It's actually it's pretty good. It's definitely worth reading. Don't try not to draw all the parallels to, you know, today's society, but let's go in and let's follow the science. Let's see where the science takes us. Ooh, excuse me. Oh yeah, you're muted. What did you say? Something dumb?
I'm an astrophysicist at a major university.
Are you?
Science is my life.
Okay.
But when I hear somebody somberly intone, "Science says," or "follow the science," I get very nervous. Science doesn't belong to any ideology. Science is the never-ending search for new knowledge. That's what science means in Latin, by the way. Knowledge. Not wisdom, not morality, not social policy. Knowledge. What we do with that knowledge is where wisdom, morality, and social policy enter the picture. Knowledge, it turns out, isn't so easy to come by. And sometimes what we think we know for certain, the Earth sure does look flat when we're standing on it, turns out not to be so certain.
Funny that I would say there are far more PragerU viewers that are flat earthers than, you know, most other places than flat earth, you know, vlogs and groups. Yeah. But that's a side note, I guess.
Of course I trust in basic scientific
knowledge.
truths, those things for which there is overwhelming evidence, like, say, gravity, even that humans play a role in the warming of the planet.
Come on, what are you
But
getting
scientists, even the best ones, can get things wrong.
Oh, is this...
The
Hold on. Is this a global warming thing? Is an astrophysicist going to be talking about global warming? Because why would I listen to an astrophysicist talk about global warming unless I'm talking about something and the astrophysicist needs to be talking about global warming about?
Brilliant astrophysicist Sir Fred Hoyle believed the universe existed in a steady state forever and had no beginning.
Okay.
But his view, once held sacrosanct by all astrophysicists, no longer holds. It's been superseded by the Big Bang theory that the universe had a beginning and is still expanding. In the 20th century, some of the most respected scientists in the world, including Nobel Prize winners, believed in eugenics, the reprehensible idea that the human race could be improved by selective breeding. The National Academy...
Whoa. I know PragerU, basically, these people, their views aren't, hold on one second. Sorry. I had to look at something. Their views aren't PragerU's views, I guess. You could say. So, like, they can come on and say whatever they want. They're just given the platform of PragerU to be like, oh, yeah, and PragerU's like, whoa, whatever. We'll just stand right the fuck back. Whoa.
Academy of Sciences, the American Medical Association, and the Rockefeller Foundation supported it. By the middle of the century, it had been thoroughly rejected as quackery. No reputable scientist would have anything to do with this idea. So, we all need to get over this notion that just because someone, be it a politician, a bureaucrat, or even a scientist, employs the phrase, "science says," means whatever they're saying is right.
Who the fuck says that? No. If you're going to talk about science, you would say, like, well, the scientific evidence that we have and points to, it's not science says, it's the scientific evidence points to, it's the evidence. That's the evidence that you're trying to say that the counter to your argument has no evidence, and they're not presenting any evidence. They're just saying science says. And yeah, there are people that are going to say science says. And don't listen to those people. Just be like, okay, well, fuck off. You're not worth my time, because they're probably kind of dumb. And if you're one of these people, especially, because then we don't want to see another video of you talking to some, schlocky, low-hanging fruit that you're going to smash to bits. Yeah. This reminds me of Mac from It's Always Sunny. Science is a liar sometimes. Pretty much. Basically.
It might be right, but it might also be wrong. And if it's wrong, it won't necessarily be a bunch of scientists who say it's wrong. It might be one guy. Ask Einstein. 100 scientists wrote a book explaining why his theory of relativity was wrong. He quipped, "If I were wrong, then one would have been enough." It takes a lot to convince scientists to accept a new theory, especially if that new theory refutes what they had always believed. In some cases, what they'd staked their entire careers on.
It also really depends. It depends on what you're pushing. What are you pushing? What?
As Richard Feynman, one of the most eminent physicists of the 20th century, famously said, "Science is the belief in the ignorance of experts." What Feynman is saying is that a good scientist should always maintain a healthy amount of skepticism. Science is by its nature provisional. Science would stagnate if we merely accepted proclamations of past authorities. So how do we do good science? This is not a new...
But that's all you guys do. That's all you do. You're like, oh, well, there's boys and there's girls, because if you're born with a penis, you're a boy, and if you're born with a vagina, you're a girl. And the science goes, you follow the science, and it says, hey, we got this all this scientific evidence that says otherwise. There's a gender spectrum, and just because you're born with a penis doesn't mean you feel like a boy. So, you're a male. You're just not a boy. You dig? Does that work? Can we go with that? You fucking... I don't understand what this guy is trying to push. It feels like he's trying to get to... It feels like there's an underlying notion that he's trying to get to. Like, it's... That's why I'm kind of, like... I use the example of, like, transgenderism. because it seems like there's something underlying here. What is he trying to get at? We're halfway through this, and he hasn't said what exactly the science he's talking about is. Is it all science? Should we not trust any experts? Are you trying to like cast doubt on scientists or something? Are you trying to cast doubt on your peers? Because, you know, if you're trying to do that, you're kind of being a dick to them, especially when you're using a platform that's maintained and used and viewed all the time by some of the craziest fucking people. I don't understand. I really don't understand what this guy's trying to get at. I'm going to skip ahead just a little bit and we'll see what he says.
Current data. Okay. They can easily get things wrong.
Okay.
First of all, the future, in case you hadn't noticed, is very hard to predict. Neat. And the further out you go into the future, the less secure the prediction. Second, the data may be incomplete or even erroneous. It's human nature to want definitive answers, but science can't always offer those. Furthermore, an authority or majority opinion. Case closed is not a scientific expression.
I got it. Easy, simple solution to your guys' problem. All right, I got this. So, how about we focus on teaching critical thinking skills to all students from a young age all the way through school, all the way through their K through 12. Critical thinking skills. Be a little bit skeptical. Look at all of the evidence that points to whatever is going on in the situation you're in, whatever event, scene that you happen to be in. Why don't we do that? Oh, I know why. Because that would make the fucking right-wing narrative completely fall apart. That would make their religious kids start to question their religion. They don't want these people asking questions, but yet they want them to, you know, deny the science at the same time. Like, none of this makes any sense. You're basically trying to get people to tell people to fuck off because, like, oh, I don't even know who you are. You can't even trust the science. It's just like, well, I could show you all of my degrees and everything. You'd just be like, well, liberal colleges and such, and the professors go to, you know, Satan worshiping classes or whatever the fuck. It just it is so damaging, and this is the thing that should not be shown in schools. This is why PragerU shouldn't be shown in schools, because you need to teach kids critical thinking skills. Bro, that is like, Ninja Turtles are radical. Critical thinking skills being taught to every child in the United States, now that's basic common sense. What we need to really do is focus on not showing this shit, and if you see this shit, point it out. Be able to dismantle these arguments, dismantle these PragerU bullshit arguments, so that when these come up, you're willing to take on whoever's talking to you and be like, hey man, like, what's going on? What's this? What's that? You know, like, these people get me so worked up over basically nothing. It's some of the most roundabout circular logic that they just like spew out. Will Witt had something to say about Barbie, but I think I talked about that last. Oh no, should I do the why girls become boys? Should I talk about it? I don't know. What should I do? Should I talk about why girls become boys on PragerU, or should we go to CC? No, you're good. I get it. You're good, man. I got what you're saying. I'm tracking. I'll be joking around with you. I move my brain around a lot. I think around a lot. So if I say the wrong thing or in the wrong inflection, don't worry about it. King Lear. Oh, so I can look sophisticated in front of my friends. I can talk about King Lear in front of my hillbilly, dipshit friends that watch this while they're, machining down parts for $4 a fucking $4 a pound. Do it. Do it. He said do it. Nobody else said otherwise. I obviously don't cave to peer pressure ever.
If you know any middle or high school girls today, or
Oh man. Yeah.
if you are one yourself, it would not be
I'm a high school or middle school girl. Please talk to
surprising
me.
if you know someone who identifies as transgender.
That could be true.
The latest statistics indicate that 2% of American high school students now identify as transgender, and the overwhelming majority of girls.
So, actual Jake constantly says, forget what date he gives. He's like, in the future, it'll be like 50%. I think he says 50% are LGBT, which I guess would be true. If you just say like bi, yeah. That would basically go for almost anybody as people get more open with who they are. But as far as like transgenderism, I don't think it'll be like a significant portion of the population, but who go through to like an adulthood transition or a full transition, I would say. Total Karen vibes. Oh yeah. Oh man. Yeah, she will definitely tell you to get off of the stairs. She doesn't own them. She just walks by them once in a while, and she just doesn't like you hanging around on the stairs. That's it. Because the birds don't chirp when you're on the stairs. So please, I'd like to walk my Pomeranian. Stupid fucking Karen.
Between 2016 and 2017 alone, the number of females seeking gender surgery in America quadrupled. But if you graduated high school over a decade ago, it was unlikely that you knew anyone who was transgender because, according to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, the condition afflicted roughly one.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Because back in the day, it wasn't as acceptable. You weren't... transgender people get killed all the time, even now. So back then, when gay people were like openly killed and nothing was done about it. Think about, perfect example, Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer was able to kill more people because the police didn't want to get in between him and his supposed partner, which was like a 14-year-old, or yeah, it was like a 16-year-old Asian boy that he had drugged and ended up drilling a hole in the kid's head and like pouring acid in. And that wouldn't have happened had the we don't give a shit if you're gay or not. We're going to look at the evidence and be like, holy shit, it smells like a bunch of dead bodies in here. Have you been showering over a dead body? Because you smell like guts. That's disgusting, dude. And these are all things that Jeffrey Dahmer did. These are all true things. As far as the acid in his head, and don't quote me on that one. That may be a different murder that he did. I know he did that to people. That's fucking disgusting. But anyway. So, yeah. So, it was not anywhere near as acceptable. So, you can't say that it only afflicted 1 in 10,000 people. It might have afflicted 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 100, but they just weren't even able to fucking say anything about it. For fuck's sake.
10,000.
Gay marriage was legalized in 2016, right? 2015 to 2016. Someone correct me on that one.
People, or 0.01% of the population. Almost none of these cases were teenage girls. In fact, before 2012, there was no scientific or medical literature discussing adolescent girls who wanted to transition to the opposite sex. That doesn't mean that we didn't know about transgender individuals. Gender dysphoria.
Not all transgender people have gender dysphoria. Anyway, so hold on. She's got me so worked up that I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why
individuals.
I'm so pissed off.
Gender dysphoria, the severe.
That's what I was gonna say. So that may just be because of reporting. because over time, I think this has a lot to do with infantilizing women. TERFs don't see trans people as the gender they are. Sorry, it's really small text. I should really wear glasses. TERFs don't see trans people as the gender they are, so it follows they'd want to protect girls. Yeah, that's sort of what I was gonna say. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, women weren't able to get out of the home for more than, certain activities for the longest time. I mean, I'm not even talking decades. We're talking centuries. Yeah, you can talk about, hydrochloric acid into his bone or into his brain. It's called muriatic acid. You can buy it at the hardware store. Anyway, women weren't able to get out of the home. Women's issues weren't taken seriously and are still not taken as seriously as they need to be. Like, there's condoms all over the place, but there should be free tampons. When I was in the Army, you could go to the med center, you can get free tampons and free condoms all day. And for all the ladies out there that it's like, oh, it'll stretch all the way out, it's still kind of really uncomfortable. You know what, I'm not willing to get hurt or pay 18 years of child support either, so we'll go with it. But I'm just saying, the thing is the tampons should be provided right next to the condoms, because you have that regular cycle. It's just a wad of fucking cotton paper, just or a pad or something. I believe he also injected Drano into victims' larynx to keep them quiet. That sounds awful and painful, and holy shit, because that would just eat away your vocal cords. I think I've heard about that. Let's see what else she has to say.
Discomfort in one's biological sex has been studied for nearly 100 years. It almost always involved boys who began feeling it between the ages of 2 and 4 and were strong and persistent in their assertions to everyone around them that they were really...
Y'all ever heard of a fucking tomboy? Nah, she's just a tomboy. She just likes, playing with the boys. Maybe it's the same thing. Maybe it's just not paid enough attention to, because you have these strict gender roles and you have all of these social pressures that make no goddamn sense in the modern age. So let's not try to push that onto our kids anymore, because it really has just fucked people up excuse me, for the most part, over time. The short-term memory of humans is ridiculous, and our inability to learn from history on a small scale rather than a large scale, because we can remember World War II and World War I, but we can't remember that it took us less than it took us like 60 years to go from flying at Kitty Hawk to landing on the moon. That's a very short amount of time. So we need to focus on the fact that things change extremely quickly, and we have to adapt to those changes. And if you're unwilling to adapt socially as well as like mentally, then you're going to be the issue, and it's going to be addressed, and that's going to be socially through social pressure. And it's going to be, and hopefully it comes in a more positive way, but rather it usually comes in a more negative way, because social pressure tends to have a more negative effect. I wanted my tubes tied. I have a kid, and I'm 28. God damn, I gotta get glasses. I have to have either a husband's permission or hunt for a doctor willing to cause. Oh, are you fucking kidding me? So basically, you need a man's permission to get your tubes tied. That's ridiculous. That's the most dumbest. That is straight up that is like show me the motherfucker that signed that shit into law, and I'll show you an asshole that does not. All right, I think we're good. Sorry, I don't know what happened. I'd say all states. Hold on. I'll get to that in a second. Sorry, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So being a dude, like, it's easier for me to get like a vasectomy and like Viagra and like assistance like that through the government. But if you want an abortion, you got to jump through hoops. If you want birth control, like, you got to worry about whether or not it's going to be legal in your state or county, whether or not you're going to have to drive somewhere, whether or not you're going to have to pay for it. If you want to get your tubes tied, you're going to have to be wondering if you need a fucking man's permission, which is absolutely ridiculous. You might have to drive, 15 hours to just go and get the operation, and who knows how safe it's going to be. It's just such an unsafe thing to do, to control people like that, regardless if it were men or women. Hang on one sec. Mouth is really dry. Yep. There's so many states where it's commonplace for doctors to both overtly and covertly act that way. Yep. I'd say all states that are older doctors who are like that. Yeah. Older doctors get kind of ridiculous. Like, they're more willing to be hardline in what they want in medicine, but really a lot of it comes down to legislation, and it's more just a bunch of, it's a dickhead conservatives legislating other people's bodies. I should be able to do whatever I want with my body. Now, I don't want to put heroin into my body. I don't want to put penises into my body. I would like to, to put alcohol into my body. That's okay. That's cool. I can do that. I should be able to do that. I should be able to, turn my outsides inside. Okay, I can do that. That should be fair and free. Totally fucking fine. But they don't want that. They don't want that. They don't see any value in that, any profit in that, I guess, would be the base of their thought. Let's see what else she has to say.
Girls. When a phenomenon that affects one half of a population, boys, suddenly begins affecting the other half, girls, and when its age of onset shifts from preschool to adolescence, something significant is happening. In 2016, Brown University public health researcher Lisa Littman began studying the sudden spike in trans identification of teenage girls. She concluded that peer influence and social media influence had a lot to do with this trans teen phenomenon. After all, based on parent reports, none of these girls had exhibited symptoms of gender dysphoria at the age that it typically first presents, early childhood.
Well, there's two reasons for that. Let's see. It really sucks, but I know so many trans people and women who lie about their desire for surgeries, double mastectomy, hysterectomy, saying they're concerned about uterine cancer or back pain. It all comes back to the fact that we don't believe people when they talk about their mental pain state. Yeah, that's really true. Like, if a woman wants breast reduction surgery, don't tell her not to do it. That's kind of a dick move, because she's saying that because her fucking back hurts. You think your back hurts from, lifting whatever the fuck you lift all day. Her back hurts from just existing with her tits. Okay? Yeah, try and wrap that around. And if she wants a hysterectomy, let her get a hysterectomy. There's limits to, what I think people should be allowed to do. And, like, when you're saying, like, to get rid of cancer, if someone's like, oh, I have a huge risk of testicular cancer, cut my balls off. Okay. Okay, go ahead, take my prostate out. Okay, well, do you really need it? I don't know. Do you really need a prostate? Does one really need a prostate? Answer me that in the comments. Answer that in the Discord. Speaking of which, awesome. But so a lot of this has to do with, there is not necessarily social pressure, but social media access and media access that allows people with these with conditions, whether it be gender dysphoria or depression or anxiety or whatever the condition may be, to reach out to other people who have that, have that same condition or same problem or same illness or whatever it may be, and maybe going through the same situations, and be able to find a way to be more open around the people that they exist around in outside of cyberspace. You know what I'm saying? Prostatectomy is a thing. Hello, I googled it. I'm surprised I said that super quick. Prostatectomy. Damn, dude, I should read books for a living and increase my vocabulary.
YouTube, Reddit, Tumblr, TikTok, and Instagram all host popular social media influencers, today's version of Hollywood stars, who insist that if...
All right, dude, no. You don't have to be influenced by, like, the most popular people. You don't have to be influenced by the stars. For instance, the reason I talk about transgenderism and the reason I defend it so much is because Hannah Reloaded, and I say this all the time, Hannah Reloaded is the one who gave me more confidence to get the fuck back on camera, to get me on stream and actually get me talking about subjects like this. So it's and it's not like she's a huge personality. She's not going all over the place, she's not PewDiePie. It doesn't take that. It just takes someone who makes you comfortable enough to be like, hey, I could do that. Hey, I could be that. I could be that comfortable. I could get that. I have that much confidence to do the thing that person's doing. And whether that may be coming out as gay or transgender, or maybe just doing what I'm doing, and that's getting on camera. For fuck's sake, I'm a straight white male. I'm the average American. 6 foot, brown hair and brown eyes. Like, what less do you want from me? What more do you want from me? Yeah, Hannah's fucking awesome. Google is a great book. So it doesn't take, a superstar. These people, the reason these people think that teenagers and younger people latch onto stars is because back in the day, all they had was TV, and all you had were the stars of the time. And those stars lasted for decades. You're talking about Johnny Carson lasted for fucking ever. John Wayne lasted forever. And these were people who were in media, and they pushed these messages all the time because that's what they did. And that's the only source of media that they had. Now I have 5 different sources of media where I can get 5 different sources of creators and 5 different viewpoints on the same subject. So it's giving me more perspective. I don't understand. Well, I do understand. It, again, goes right back to their hatred of critical thinking skills. They hate people having critical thinking skills, and they don't understand that I can differentiate between the value of basically all of these. Honestly, on all of this, I think Reddit would have basically the most value because, well, I'd be a tie between these two because you can find a lot of expertise on these two. However, this is short-term stuff. I mean, that sort of falls in the category, but this is more short-term snapshot kind of influence. So it doesn't give you really the full picture, and these two, you really got to be careful because you don't know what you're going to find. For instance, I do a lot of long-form, very detailed stuff, so I'm not going to fool you. I'm here. This is me. If you met me in real life, I'd basically be the same. I cannot wait for her and Peter to talk. Oh my god, dude. I hope it lasts until I'm at work. Hopefully for a while. Oh, dude. That's going to be fucking epic. I always catch it after because I never watch Twitch. But I'm probably going to save it till Monday. so I can listen to it at work. That's gonna be so fucking funny. Let's continue on with this, and then I'm gonna go into CC.
If you feel uncomfortable in
We're
your
not gonna watch
body,
too much
you're
more of
probably
this.
trans. Many promise that if you start a course of testosterone, all of your problems will go away. There's every reason.
Nobody says that. You know who says that? The straw men that PragerU creates. That's who says that. Those are the people that say that. That's who says those things. It's not like how is she like a medical professional? Is she? Because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense that she would think that other people are telling their patients, yeah, if you take testosterone, everything will go away. Whoa. All your problems will go. No, this is a very long process, and it doesn't mean taking testosterone when you're an 8-year-old girl. It means, hey, mom, I kind of feel like a boy. Okay, well, let's figure out why that is. And then you go through therapy, and then they figure out, no, well, maybe it's just kind of a phase, and now she's a girl. Or now she really wants to be a boy, so let's nurture that and figure out what to do to accommodate our son now. Like good parents do, you know? Unlike shitty parents, like Karen here, who probably, God, look at that fucking face. Ugh. Can you imagine that talking to you as a real retail worker? Just like, you spelled my name wrong. Oh, did I get your order wrong? No. Okay, well, fuck off, because there's 20 other people around you and you're not wearing a mask, you dumb bitch. Don't be an ass. Wear your fucking mask.
Reason to believe that these girls are experiencing real psychological pain. Rates of anxiety, depression, and instances of self-harm are all at record levels for this generation. A quick fix becomes very tempting. So it doesn't take much. A YouTube video, a friend's suggestion, to get a troubled girl to buy into the fantasy.
Wait.
The gender transition is the answer.
No, dude. If you're... Hang on one sec. Alrighty. Sorry. I got the beep boop of a low battery. So, if you this is basically the same argument that I give to any of the super straight dipshits that are out there. Or because the super straights, these people just ooze insecurity. And I know the super straight thing is kind of like done and played out. I mean, it's really kind of embarrassing if you're still doing it. But it's the same thing as the straight pride. Honestly, if you're so against it like that, you could probably be convinced. And if you can be that easily convinced to, you know, transition your gender, then you probably already wanted to do it. So if you can be convinced to suck a dick, you probably already wanted to do it. Alright? And I'm not saying a gun to the head type of situation. But I'm done with this lady. She is so dumb. Jan from The Office, yeah, for sure. Because Jan is a bitch. What was that thing she had in their apartment that was like, I'm not going to get in CC. Do Fox News' comedy. Comedy first. Oh my god. What was that thing that she, what did she make? It was like candles or perfume or something. I forget. Come on, meow. I'm gonna have to refresh. We're gonna have to refresh. At least I hope. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Well, while that's refreshing, I'm gonna use littering. I'll be right back.
I'd want to get you caught up on something we talked about at the start of the week. Fox News comedy show, and I'm using that term very loosely. Fox News comedy show Gutfeld debuted on Monday night, and it's maybe the least funny comedy show that I've ever seen. And one of the questions I asked on Monday was, why does right-wing...
All right. Serenity by Gian. Yeah. For real, she knows nothing and she's just a bigoted transphobe. Yeah, for fucking real, dude. That's awesome. I would love to meet David Pakman. He seems like a really cool, chill dude. As far as that lady being a transphobe, yeah, she's a total asshole. That's all she is. She's a shill. She's basically the exact same as like the climate scientists that go on Fox News. They're paid to disagree. It's like, oh, well, I don't agree with that, because I have scientists that are going and working on this, and they're picking up a lot of evidence that doesn't really jive with the narrative that's being pushed on this liberal media or whatever. Yeah, I would love to meet David Pakman. Like I said, that missing girl. Guess whose candle they used for the vigil? A good thing they found her. Oh, they found her. I haven't watched enough Office to get that reference, but I feel like I know who said it. I feel like I know which characters would have said that if I were to guess. But I don't want to watch David Pakman talk. I want to watch this comedy that I had queued up that I had to refresh on, and this is. I gotta warn you guys, like, this is horrible. This is really fucking bad. Well, he's about to ask a question. I have an answer for his question. But, yeah, I gotta warn you, this is just, it's so unfunny that you might leave. Please don't leave. Buy a shirt instead. #marketing.
Comedy not work. Many of you weighed in, and I'm going to have...
Sorry. His question was, why does right-wing comedy not work? And my go-to response has been for why does right-wing comedy not work is essentially like conservatives tend to lack a lot more creativity, insofar as when it comes to like art. You know what I'm saying? So they're very basic in their rhetoric and their direction of thought, whereas I think more yeah, Ghost. That sounds like Kevin. I'm pretty sure that like that's why more artists tend to be liberal minded or left leaning, because they have more creativity, they're more open minded, they're able to see things from different perspectives rather than one perspective at a time. And so I said this on Jamie Dark I don't know if anybody's talked to Jamie or listened to Jamie Dart. Go check out her channel. I talked with her and or I commented and I was like, hey, the conservative spectrum is a series of blocks. That's basically what it is. Because like a leftist spectrum would, and I hate to say it, would be more like a rainbow. Think of like what you would think of the visible light spectrum, you know, you'd see in a science book where it has a gradient. That would be more what I would think of as a spectrum. Ooh, excuse me. Whereas a right-winger would more think of it as like you're either here or here or here, and we can divide these up, but they're all still going to be blocks, and we have to control those blocks in individual ways, and we have to make sure we, you know, consolidate the blocks we don't really like. Comedy at its core question stands up to traditional values. Yeah, that's 100% true. Like, fuck you, Mom and Dad. Basically, you know, yeah, it subverts your expectation, which is typically the traditional, right? Comedy,